She was chained and bleeding. Then the beast that loved her burned the world down. She had once sung to him through the bars of his cage. A tiny human girl, no older than 13, her voice trembling but warm, drifting like sunlight into black pits of his prison. They had called him Behemorath, the plague of suns, a weapon, a biological monster bred by the Zenthri to end worlds. 10 stories tall, coated in obsidian scales, white cracks glowing like magma across his hide, wings broad enough to eclipse cities. They kept him drugged, chained beneath the war labs of Karash Prime. And yet she sang to him, every day, through the slits in the wall, when the scientists went away, when the soldiers changed shifts. "Are you in pain?" she would whisper. "Do you dream?" At first, he could only groan. Pain and confusion blurred everything. But she kept coming. Weeks passed. Her presence became the only constant in his world. Until one day, he answered with his mind. "Who are you?" She had gasped. Then she smiled. "Luma." They never should have let Luma clean the lower halls. But she was small, obedient, born in captivity like all humans on Karash Prime. A slave girl, a nothing, except a Behemorath. Over months, their bond grew. He spoke in feelings more than words. Burning rage, aching loneliness, terror and confusion. But she understood. She told him stories of blue skies, of old earth fables, of kindness, of freedom. She brought pieces of bread, drops of fruit juice. Once, a flower petal. When she placed it against his snout through the bars, he wept molten tears. "I would destroy every star to keep you safe," he had said one night. And she had laughed, unaware how true it would become. They caught her eventually, caught her sneaking into the pit after hours, holding a torn scrap of cloth she meant to use as a blanket for his shivering body. She begged them to stop. They didn't listen. The Zenthri beat her, shackled her outside the pit, bleeding and broken, so the beast could see. "They bond like animals," the High Chancellor sneered. Let it break his mind. But it didn't. It broke something far more dangerous. The sedatives had dulled Behemorath's power for years, but they had never extinguished it. And now, something ancient stirred in him, a rage beyond comprehension. Her blood on the floor, her sobs. "Mine," he whispered, and the chains began to melt. The first tremor was small, dismissed as another shift in the crust of Karash Prime. The second ripped the underground facility in half. Behemorath rose like a volcano awakening, eyes burning suns, black wings unfurling with a thunderous crack. Chains snapped, walls fell, the guards tried to run. They did not make it. He incinerated them without mercy. Lava like fire spilled from his jaws, liquefying steel, melting bones. The corridors where they tortured her became rivers of flame. Every place that had ever made her scream was reduced to ash. He found her half-conscious in her shackles, her lips trembling. Her bruised hands twitched as if reaching for him even in delirium. "Luma," his voice trembled inside her mind. "I'm here." She cracked open one swollen eye. "Behem, you came." He lowered his colossal head beside her, careful, so careful. His heat radiated through the air, but she didn't flinch. She touched his snout. He licked the blood from her fingers. Then he tore her chains apart with a single claw. Gently, like lifting glass, he cradled her in one clawed hand, placing her on his back. She collapsed against his neck. "Burn it," she murmured. "Burn it all." And so he did. What followed was called the scorching of Karash, a once mighty war world reduced to blackened ruins. He flattened towers with his tail, raised warships with his flame, screamed his fury into the sky until even the clouds burned. The Zenthri Empire sent fleets. They failed. They sent assassins. He disintegrated them midair. Every weapon they unleashed only made him more terrible, more unstoppable. Behemarath was no longer a beast. He was a god of vengeance, and his fury was boundless. And through it all, Luma lay safe on his back, wrapped in his wings like the warmest of blankets. "Don't leave me," she whispered in her fevered sleep. "Never," he promised. By the 5th day, the planet was nearly lifeless. Behemarath stood atop the last tower, broken and burning, with her small body pressed to his chest. She had slipped into unconsciousness again. He felt her weakening. He needed help, but there was no one to trust. No one except the humans imprisoned across the sectors. So he flew, for the first time in his life. He stretched his wings and took to the skies beyond Karash. Through blood-red clouds, he carried her, across star systems, into the heart of a shattered rebellion. The human survivors didn't believe what they saw. An obsidian god beast landing in their ruined courtyard, Luma limp in his claws. His voice rumbled through their minds. "Save her." A doctor, trembling, stepped forward. "She needs rest, and a safe place. Her ribs or lungs." Behemarath laid down and placed her in their arms. "If she dies," he warned, "your stars will fall." She didn't die. It took weeks. Bone-healing injections, oxygen chambers, human hands that learned to trust a beast who watched from outside, silent and still. Behemarath never left her side. Not once. He slept beside the recovery chamber, curled like a mountain around it. No soldier dared approach. No scientist dared interfere. They called her the Beast Star, the girl who tamed destruction. And when she woke again, truly woke, she reached a shaking hand toward his snout and whispered, "Thank you." Years passed. She grew taller, stronger. He, older but no less powerful. Together, they became a symbol of vengeance, of love, of rebellion. They led the charge against the remnants of the Zentari. They freed thousands. Behemarath raised enemy fortresses. Luma offered the survivors hope. They say he never let another ride him. Only her. They say when she laughed, the great dragon would rumble contentedly like a mountain purring. And they say, even when peace came, he never forgot the day she was chained and bleeding, and he had burned the world to save her.